How early can you come to the den tomorrow morning? Well, we need a chance to go over the itinerary in detail and confirm we have everything we'll need before we leave. You and Nevaeh will be responsible for reviewing the inventory of medical supplies and food so we can be sure the sirens get the aid they requested. All of that needs to be distributed before we meet with Chantel later in the afternoon. Carter thinks the Jameson pack would be helpful as an ally, so we need to make sure things run as smoothly as possible. So ideally, you'd be here by 5 a.m. 5:30 could work, provided you sit on a call via Nevaeh so you can listen in on the debriefing while you're en route. Good. I'm assuming you're asking to come in later because you're spending time with Nova? Listen, it's rare you make a request like that without it being connected to Nova in some way. I know I can count on your attendance. I'm just giving you shit. So, are you two mates yet? Have you even tried asking her yet? What's the holdup? You've been talking about taking Nova as a mate for months now. Making someone your mate isn't a be-all, end-all bait. The significance it holds is entirely up to you. You know it's not going to be like last time, right? Just because he handled having a mate poorly doesn't mean Nova will. He made his choice, babe, none of which was your fault. Don't let what he did stop you from going after what you want now. Nova's a different person. Give her a chance to prove that to you. Good, because you already know the pack adores Nova, and everyone would be more than thrilled to find out you've made her your mate. Hell, at this rate, people are gonna start making bets about it. Also, it is worth pointing out that the sooner you ask Nova, the sooner you both get the added benefits of marking.
Wait, are you talking to
Alright,
Serena? Tell her I
text
say
someone
hi.
ahead of time if you're going to be late in the morning. Tell her I say hi back. See you, babe.
Hey, dollface. Is it cool if I put the food in the backseat? Yes, that's what's inside of there. Now, backseat, yes or no? Cool. I'll hand this to you then. I didn't keep you waiting long, did I? Okay, listen, I know it wasn't that long. I'm trying to be considerate of your time, asshole. Good, because I don't try to. Oh, I'm not telling you where we're going yet. I'm gonna give you directions, doll. I said I'm gonna give you directions, not input them. I'll tell you where to go. What? Okay, listen. I've lived in Notarum my whole life. You think I don't know my way around by now? Just trust me, baby doll. This'll be better if it's a surprise. I love you. Thanks for passing along the message. All right, so you're gonna pull out of here and take a right. So then Leslie had to hide the card in one of their textbooks so our professor wouldn't see it. Oh, turn left? Right. So before we got a chance to finish signing the card, we had to start our lab, which is why it took an extra hour to fill it up. I know. Like, damn, what were the odds? Okay, we're here. Yep, this is it. I think I see some parking spaces over there. Alright, what do I need to grab before I get out? Doll, is your jacket still in the trunk? Asking in case I get cold while we're outside. Perfect. I'll grab the food out of the back seat. Okay, where did I put the blanket? Hold on, let me make sure I didn't forget anything. Just a second. Ooh, I think everything's still the right temperature. Sick. Look, doll, can you just... I know where we are right now, and I get why you're trying to talk to me about that. I want to be here for a reason, and I need you to just trust me when I say that. I just know that if I want to be here tonight, I need you by my side. So, work with me for a bit longer, okay? Thank you. What, you think just because you're taller than me I can't hold the basket? Rude. Here you go. Okay, that should be everything. I was thinking we could set everything up in the grass, unless you have another idea. Alright, classic picnic route it is. Come on. Your clothes are fine, doll. Besides, you should be used to dirt stains after spending this much time around me of all people. Hey, at least I know how to get the stains out. Could be a lot worse. Okay, this spot good? Alright, give me a sec to lay the blanket out. I'm fairly confident I can do this myself, yes. See? Total natural at it. Shoes off, though. There's no need for us to track more than we have to onto this blanket. Did you know that I first started identifying constellations when I was like 5? It's not that big of a deal, honestly. Vic was the one who started including me around then, I think. It took a while before I managed to get the right names, but eventually I was the one pointing them out to her. Have you ever stargazed? Like, properly. Just looking up at the sky doesn't count. What? Come on, I thought the moon was supposed to be your thing. In fairness, it's harder to see them in more populated areas. People don't even realize light pollution's hiding some of the stars from them in the first place, which makes it all the more satisfying when you can stargaze somewhere far from it all. Are you hungry yet? I'm not sure if you ate before coming to pick me up or not. I made some of our favorite foods. And before you ask, yes, that's why I was texting you last week. But I think I did all right making everything. Even Jade would be proud if she saw everything I made for us tonight. So, are we gonna eat? Or should we talk first before you burn a hole through me by staring? I'm teasing, baby doll. Mostly. After all, I know we can't ignore where we are, right? Sorry, I'm trying to figure out what I want to say. I tried coming to a park after dark. It didn't even have to be this one. I just wanted to try going to any park and, I don't even know, prove something to myself. Or maybe that's what I wanted to believe. There was this one time when I was 14. No, yeah, I was 14 because Vic was in college then. I snuck out and walked to the closest park I could find. I kept telling myself it wouldn't be a big deal, that I'd walk there and look around and realize me avoiding them at night had been stupid. I was there maybe 2 minutes before I broke down. When I finally answered one of Izzy's calls, I was crying so hard that I was basically hyperventilating. So, definitely not one of my finest moments. It felt silly. It feels silly to struggle with something so trivial. It's not like I can't handle it during the day. When the sun's out, it doesn't feel like it has any power over me. And it shouldn't be any different once the sun sets. Parks are places that are full of life and warmth and joy. I see as much when I pass by them while out with friends or walking home from class, so why can't I remember that when it's dark out? Why is it that the only thing that my mind can focus on is all the horrible memories I have? I've always felt like so much of my life was out of my control. If I wanted to use my magic, I had to stay within the lines laid before me. If I wanted to have dreams, it couldn't be too ambitious because fate would strike them down. If I wanted to grieve, I had to shove it down as far as it would go, unless I wanted to be accused of acting out. Every aspect of my life had dozens of restrictions or rules or parameters to follow. But just this once, I wanted to try and be the one that had a say in how I felt, even if it hurt, even if I got here and couldn't even set foot in the grass. At least it would have been my choice, not someone else's. Sometimes I wonder if my dad ever felt like that, like his life wasn't his own to wield. I'd want to know when he became a necromancer. Was it late in his childhood like me? Was it even later in his life? Or maybe he was born one. Maybe he's always known what he was. Would that have been better? Or would that just make it even more of a curse than it already was? Sorry, I know I'm just rambling at this point. Are you sure? Alright. I think I'm the only one who's been back here since that night. I mean, I don't know that for certain, but no one else has ever brought it up, so I get the feeling that I'm right in that assumption. Honestly, I'd forgotten some of the visual details despite how often we came here before everything. Like, you see those swings over there? I had forgotten what color the bars were. I thought they'd been red, but as you can see, they are very much so orange. So either my memory failed me, or weathering has taken its toll on that swing set. I guess it could be both. I wonder what it would be like to come back during the day. Actually, it'd probably feel wrong if I did. It's not like we ever did that before. I bet I'd just be worrying about Izzy, even if they weren't with me. You want to know something? I bet I could still find the spot where my magic anchored. Sorry, I don't. That was weird to say. I'm not trying to freak you out. It was weird. I don't mean to weird you out, doll. I feel like you're just saying that. Necromancy is kind of hard to explain sometimes, especially in regards to anchoring. Whenever I listen to other anchoring experiences, it always feels like I've walked into a conversation meant for someone else. They talk of euphoria, or a sense of clarity, or a rush of power that brings a fond smile to their face. When my magic anchored, the pain ran so deep that I still feel it in my nightmares sometimes. It felt like my magic does now, specifically necromancy, but it was as if it was burning through my body, almost like an overloaded circuit, except it ran through every sensory receptor I had. I don't know how I managed to wield any of it in that moment, but I guess that's underestimating my emotions, given I still feel traces of it, in a way. When I'm using my necromancy, I can feel how much magic runs through my center, even if I'm tapping into a small portion of it. And in a weird way, it feels good. Even if my earliest association was so painful, I wish I had more opportunities to feel it. More than I get, at least. I know you've asked to see my necromancy before, but did you mean it when you asked? It's just, I've gotten glimpses of myself performing necromantic magic. I've also seen the depictions and heard the records of it, so I know how I'm perceived. Even if I've never replicated that intensity, I know what my magic is capable of. That night, it tried to kill those strangers, and it came so fucking close. It forced the ground apart and tried to use those in which I'm supposed to help and communicate with as an accessory to harm. It's not even the worst I could have done, but I've been told time and time again how that was the lucky outcome. And I'm supposed to what? Be thankful I'm not more of a monster? Or appreciate the fact that I didn't do worse that night, even though my body's still capable of repeating it? And how can I even expect you not to be freaked out by any of this? You already deal with so much bullshit because of me. Our privacy's constantly at risk because Face hates any aspect of my life that it can't control or watch. And if it ever got out that we were together, you'd be stuck under the most intense fucking spotlight just by association of someone like me. Which is assuming no one ever finds out I was a cast, and because if they knew that they had a piece of Andrea's to grab and use and exploit, it never... I'm sorry, I didn't... I'm just sorry. What is it? Why do you do that? Stay, even though you have every reason to run. It's kind of sappy. I don't think any of my guardians ever expected much from my relationships when I became a necromancer, or would have, in my dad's case. Being with you isn't what should have happened, given what I am. But it did. And I think my ma and Izzy are really happy for us. And even though he's gone, I think my dad would have been happy to see us too. Fuck. I'm sorry. God, we're supposed to be eating right now, aren't we? I'm sorry, doll. I think I think I'm okay right now. Yeah. I mean, I will probably break again later. I can admit that much at least. But I want to make this moment a better memory, even if I only have the one. Could I hug you for a bit, though? I don't know. I feel like I should ask before I get tear stains on your clothes. That's a terrible joke. Promise you'll eat this food when we finally get to it. Good, because it really did take a while.